Okay, welcome back. This is the Lucent Truth, and we're the Lucent Truth, and we're going to move on to the next topic. And today now we're going to talk about. This is a topic Big O brought up, and he wants to talk about basically, do kids play with toys anymore? And I'm assuming when you say kids, you mean from like toddler on up to like age maybe like 12 and 13, right? Because I'm trying to think
Yeah,
when did I stop really playing with toys? I would say probably when I was like 12, 13. I was like, yeah, they weren't as interesting anymore, and I got more into other things, more sophisticated types
mm,
of toys, if you want to say. I wanted a computer or a laptop or
yeah,
that type of thing. Even though the laptops were really expensive back then, I wanted one, but I wasn't gonna get one. Or a drawing,
yeah,
because I was an artist, I wanted drawing materials and stuff like that. But I wasn't playing with action figures and stuff like that. I think by the time
mm,
I reached 13. So I'm assuming you mean that age range between being a toddler to about 12 or 13 years old, right?
yeah. Pretty much. I guess who I'm coming at is like uh, the different line of toys that are coming out. A lot of things you're seeing. Well, get correct with it. Collectibles, for us adults and stuff like that. And I want to say too, it's a lot of nostalgic, of seeing these figures, well, these collectibles, these figures, you know, um, but a lot of them now, like with Super Seven and the other manufacturers of it's like they're so like for okay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's like Super Seven and some other brands, they have their versions of it. They're coming out with them, and it's crazy, man. Because I started my collection with Super Seven, like with the Ninja Turtles, and it's like I look back at the old like Ninja Turtles I grew up with and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, and it's like they can't even do none of the things these new ones can do. So it's like an update version to it. Granted, it's like back then we had to use our imagination, of it. But now looking back of it, and it's like I love what Super Seven did was they actually made, the figures I grew up with when I was little, um, more, posable and different. Because with me, I love to like take photos of the figures and stuff in different poses, like create scenes and stuff like that. That's me. Plus like a little nostalgic thing and all too. But a lot of these figures and stuff, it's I feel like they're geared more towards adults now. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
just going back in there because I mean I know it's like you running that like $60 and up type figures and all, man, and it's like
You said well, you
and
kind of
also to
wait,
me I
Orlando,
feel it's an art form.
Orlando, you kind of borged a little bit. You said the figures what? Yeah, you're
I was
borging.
saying that oh, am I still Borging?
No, you good. You good.
Good now. Okay, you were saying I said something about the figures being.
Yeah, you kind of broke up. I didn't quite hear what you said.
Oh, well, basically, the figures. To me, it's like an art. Now,
Mm.
the things you can do with them, and I like posing them and stuff, and taking creating scenes and stuff like that, and all with them. But yeah, now, man, I look at it as an art, and also collecting them and stuff like that too. And um, I was gonna say, you don't really see too many, kids actually looking for these type of figures. I mean, plus, they are up there, but even some of the toys now that the kids are into, they're up in price as well too. But one of the things that they're into more like say like tablets or digital like the games and stuff like that, downloading digital content. Like my son, he was all into, hey, I want to get these shoes for this NBA game. I'm like, it's
Mm.
not even real. You can't touch it, but they're more into like the digital type stuff, and also it's like
Yeah.
to me it took me a while to get into that. I mean, I'm not fully into it, but it's like but what I'm seeing is like more they're all into the digital elements. Well, Grand Theft Auto, like, hey, you're buying more digital content to add on to the game. Now, the thing I like about it, it does make the game longer, and things of that nature, and all. So, I mean, I'm getting off subject with and all, but
No. That's
when
on
it comes
subject.
back
Yeah.
to the it's coming back to it, with the toys. I call them collectibles, but it's an art, man, and it's got me interested in even doing my own. Like I love to learn how to 3D print my own characters or say characters that I sketch up, from my stories, y'all stories as well too, and paint them and just add some details, but definitely, man, it's a definitely a level of respect, man, you get from some of these collectibles, man, because I mean, the detail that goes into it, and and I'm just interested in it, man. So, but especially with the Super Seven, I know definitely with that Thunder Tank, man. Just the price is like, yo, it's like, but I always wanted that Thunder Tank, man. But if you look at the old Thunder Tank that came out, when the toys came out back then, it's like it's nowhere to the accuracy of like how the
Yeah,
show is,
yeah,
But granted, you have to use imagination. Plus, too, they probably only
but
had like a certain am I breaking my organ?
yeah, yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Now it's better.
yeah. Your video is the
Am I
thing that's
coming
really
through?
the video is what's really breaking up.
Oh, breaking up. Hold on. Let me switch it up. Oh, but y'all can still hear me though.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely like the Thunder Tank, man. I'm a big fan of that design. I would like to see Super Seven make a Mirage from the Silverhawks, because I already see they got the Cat's Lair. And they're doing that too. So I mean, but they come up with that Mirage. I might have to cough that up, man. Man, but yeah, to me, it's art form. I love them. I love collecting them and stuff like that and all. But some of these prices, man, they get out there, man. But
Yeah, yeah,
I would like to, create like my own characters and 3D print them out and paint them and see what happens with it and all. But yeah, it definitely caught my
yeah.
interest on it
I
all.
don't have any. And Carbon and I were kind of debating about this before we started the show. I don't have any data to back up whether or not Gen Alpha or younger Gen Zs still kind of
Hmm.
play with toys, action figures, dolls, and that type of stuff, like how we play with them.
Hmm.
We're going to read this article to kind of see if they have any insight on that. Uh, but all I can say is I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard anything like okay, sales for toys are down, or if they're down for a particular age group, or if that age group is really getting eaten up by, like you said, the digital realm. I don't know. What's your take, Carbon?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, kids when they get to a certain age, like once they're old enough to hold, actually kids are getting tablets just at baby age. Like it's getting kind of crazy. And because once you get a kid in a tablet, especially if it's too young, they just get kind of addicted to it, And then when you're kind of addicted to a tablet, why would you want to go back to toys? And with a tablet, right, you can get an infinite amount of, at least as infinite as the internet is, right? There's an infinite amount of content a kid could watch. When you're with free time, I mean, it's like toys only can have so many uses
But
from
then
before one for
is
breaks.
that a toy? Is a tablet a toy at that point, or is it just TV?
It
Because
depends on what they're doing with it.
if you're just watching
It's like
something, it's not a toy. You're just watching. You
TV-ish.
basically just watching TV.
But it's so taken away from the time they would technically play with their toy instead.
I know, but then we can't say
And then on the
we can't,
parents' end,
but we can't then say it's a toy. We gotta say okay, well, they're just watching TV more than than maybe previous generations did. Because look, there was a point. Look, boomers, Xers, and millennials did watch a lot of TV. They did, but at least in my generation, millennials, there was a certain time. It was like once some Saturday morning cartoons went off, our asses was outside. We were playing.
Outside.
Yeah,
yeah,
we
it's
were
not
doing
like
all
that. No,
kinds
I
of
can,
stuff.
I can say that for sure.
Yeah, yeah, we were
And
outside. We
even
made
about from
sure
the
we were
parents' point
outside.
of view, right? If you could just give them a tablet, right, you're technically saving a lot of money in the long term. If you have to keep buying toys every year, you just give them one tablet that can technically give them all the entertainment they want.
Hmm.
From
Mm.
a parent's point of view, wouldn't they be saving a ton of money?
Yeah, maybe. But let's read this article. Let's see what it
Uh,
says. And this is Oh, go ahead, Bigo.
oh no, I was just saying, it just all depends. So you with a tablet, you got to pay for that, and then for the
Mm-hmm.
content that comes with it, they're always
Yeah.
adding more on it. So
What
I
Yeah.
feel
do you
like it
mean?
evens up.
There's YouTube Kids. You can just, put them in YouTube Kids, infinite hours
Hmm.
free.
Now I would say,
There's
oh
plenty of
man, I
free
can't.
websites, man, and free games.
Oh man, I can't call the YouTuber's name, but there is a family and they have like their son and like
Ryan's Toys Reviews.
yeah. Now see, now kid like my kids when they said, oh hey, I want to get that. I want to get the mystery
Mhm.
ball that comes. It's like it was a selling point. You
Yeah.
know, so if so even on YouTube, if you can sell it on YouTube like or get them interested, then yeah they'll get it. But at the same time they'll still watch the show. So yeah, but I mean I don't really see too many you know toys being like displayed that way wise with it at them. But I mean, you go to like these video game stores and stuff like that, you see those collectible toy figures there,
Mhm.
and I really don't see no kids like, oh hey look, that's the
Yeah,
new
but
Wolverine.
to be fair though, those are those are designed to appeal to our
Hmm.
age generation, right? Because you know boomers weren't the type of people once they got older like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy this toy. They saw toys as something for kids, right? They didn't do
Yeah.
that. They didn't do that as much, right?
Hmm.
I don't see extras doing it a whole lot too. But when it comes to millennials, we got the toy craze probably even more so than those guys. I mean, they had their toys. Don't get me wrong. But we got so, but and there was a lot of toys that we wanted that we weren't going to get.
Hmm.
So we had a proliferation of cartoons and media that came out between the 80s and the 90s and
Yeah.
early 2000s that that on top of that anime, right?
Yeah.
So we are the convention generation. We're the original convention generation. We're the original ones who did cosplay and stuff that we got from Japan and stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, they had conventions and stuff like that before us in the 70s, like for like Star Trek and Star Wars. But
Yeah.
I think it was millennials who were the first ones that kind of made it like almost like it's a normal thing, right? Maybe late millennials, early Gen Zs, right? So
Hmm.
the idea of collecting, I think, and doing it as an adult became more normalized with us.
Yeah.
So there's a market there. Whereas
Exactly.
I don't think they'll be able to market something like that towards boomers. But that doesn't mean that younger generations aren't playing with toys. You see what I'm saying? It's just there's a market for toys that you can now sell to adults.
Adults.
But I don't
Got you.
know. I don't know. We're gonna read this article and find out. Let's see if they touch on it. Now this is on Vox by Terry Nugent, I think. And it says brands are already marketing to Generation Alpha. The kids born after Z are prime targets for marketers, and so are their millennial parents. So he says, and so are their millennial parents. But maybe that means also because to get, it might also mean to get millennials to buy the toys for their Gen Alpha kids, they would have to also market towards the parents. Well, let's see what it says. It says,
Mm.
my greatest desire as a toddler was to own a play kitchen, complete with miniature appliances, utensils, and plastic food. All my neighborhood playmates had one. The kitchens were everywhere, according to my mother, displayed in toy catalogs and television commercials, in daycare centers, and in the homes of family friends. It was, in hindsight, one of my very first consumerist desires, a toy that sought to instill ideals of domesticity in young girls. That didn't matter to my parents or to the 3-year-old me. I was learning to want things, snacks, games, and gadgets that were strategically dangled in front of my barely formed child brain, even if my parents held all the buying power. This parent child dynamic in which the child carelessly annoys their caretaker to receive a desired object likely won't ever change. Americans' consumption patterns have changed, though, especially after the past decade. The next generation of consumers, dubbed Generation Alpha by demographers, is being born at the height of American excess. They will grow up in a world oversaturated with direct to consumer brands attempting to disrupt every sector imaginable, one where social media is shoppable and Amazon is ubiquitous. Today's parents are less likely to scour the aisles of their local Target for toys, or Toys R Us, when the internet's boundless array of online products can be delivered to their doors with just a few clicks. Now, I have to agree with that because look, I was one of the first ones to do it. I was one of the first ones to get rid of cable and just use the internet for my primary media. I was one of the first
Mhm.
ones to buy a tablet. You know this, Orlando. I was one of the first ones to
Yeah.
buy a tablet and draw on the screen. People were amazed when I was doing it,
Hmm.
right? I was the first one. I scoured the internet like I know these things exist. Where are
Gotta
they?
do something.
And I found one. It was
Yeah.
motion 16. I pulled it up.
Yep.
Motion 1600 1600. I think it was LE.
I remember that too, man. Because I
tablet.
came over
Look,
to your house, I was
yeah,
like,
Caleb, look at
"What
this
for
thing.
real?" Yep.
Yeah, I had Windows XP on it. Well, I was the first one, boy. Caleb, look at this thing, dude. This thing was all bulky.
Yep.
Dude, that thing lasted a long time. Though. That thing, boy, I got some good work out of that thing. That was my first where I could
Online
draw
purchase.
on the screen, man. I was killing it on that thing, and people were amazed because most people didn't have it. But dude, it took me like a good month worth of research to finally find something that was affordable that I could buy, so I could actually draw on it. And I was killing it, boy. But I was the first one to do that, and I was the first one to just stop going to like Walmart and stuff like that. Because my thing was, you go to Walmart or Target or wherever, and you want, a pair of pants or a jacket, and you got to choose from whatever they have. And most of the time, I don't like any of these, but I'll just pick this one, right? But I was like, with the internet and Amazon, all the other places, and eBay was big at one time. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, that you had this variety that you could choose from. I was like, I really like that. I'm aware of that. To this day, I buy most of my clothes off the internet. You know what I'm saying? I buy most of my shoes off the internet because you just so much more variety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And convenient, you get shipped directly to you.
I don't gotta go. I mean, you gotta wait, but I don't have to go out and
get
shop.
all those people.
I hate shopping. You know what I'm saying? I just want to just give me what I want and let me go. But so I can relate. I think it's a true point that she's making. But let's move on. It says the unique consumer identity of the toddlers and babies of Generation Alpha. Let's see, make sure. Yeah, a term used to describe those born between 2010 and 2025 is currently being developed for them. It will be shaped through the toys, baby food, clothes, and toddler gadgets purchased by their parents and relatives. A real-time example of this phenomenon is Ryan Kaji, the 9-year-old star. Oh, that's Ryan's World, one of the most lucrative YouTube channels on the platform. For now, though, most kids are too young and offline to be drawn into social media's marketing schema. Brands instead are turning to parents to wean the next generation of consumers. There's a subset of young millennial moms who are investing in buying the best products they can afford for their kids, said Heather Dretsch, an assistant professor of marketing at North Carolina State University. As a result, the next generation of kids are going to have very similar tastes to that of their millennial parents when it comes to brands, unlike Gen Z. So is she saying that Gen Z don't have similar taste to their millennial parents? I'm assuming that's what she means. Right here, I guess this is Andrea. She says that Gen Alpha are being raised as mini millennials. These pastels. Yeah, I guess I don't get it. I don't get it. Side note, calling Twitter X is stupid, by the way, but I won't go down that road. Y'all know that, right? They changed the icon for Twitter. It's like, come on, stop it. Like, it's ridiculous looking. I don't get it. Explain it to me. You're a Gen Z Carbon X. Like, what does she mean?
About Twitter?
No, not Twitter. She's saying that Gen Z, I guess, aren't like millennials, but alphas are going to be more like millennials. What does she mean by that?
I mean, they're going to follow their parents. I mean, I guess.
Yeah. Well, why didn't Gen Z follow their parents?
Because isn't a lot of millennials not able to even buy a house and everything? So it's kind of like, kind of seeing you guys are like, I don't know if I'm going to take that route.
I see what you're saying. Maybe millennials maybe millennials.
We're not doing much better. So they're going to be like, that's the only opportunity they have is just to follow the millennials. Like, I gotta hope for the best.
Yeah, maybe maybe millennials had Gen Z children earlier, so y'all get to see as we move into middle age and late middle age, y'all get to see all our flaws. Whereas Gen Alpha, they're still really young, so and millennials are starting to settle more into their careers. Like they're reaching a peak of their career, so maybe they have a little bit more income to buy houses and stuff like now. Whereas Gen Z weren't able to be in those houses. They were like in apartments, and so they didn't get to see the best part of, or they didn't get to see the height of millennial professionalism, where where they had the best jobs, in the homes and stuff. Because now millennials are starting to move into that a little bit, even though you got inflation in the housing market in inflation and stuff like that, and cars are overinflated. But millennials are starting to move into those areas where boomers and older Gen X's had as far as professions. So they're starting to make a little bit more money. They're starting to peak a little bit. So maybe that's what she means. That's the only thing I can think of. Because right here it says Gen Alpha are being raised as mini millennials. These pastels. I don't get it. I mean, maybe it's because I'm not a girl. I mean, were these colors big when millennials were around? I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But let's read on. Yeah, we'll read on. Both new and traditional kid-focused brands have, for the most part, abandoned the kitschy rainbow-colored packaging used in the 90s and early aughts. Think of the commercials for Fruit Gushers candy and kid cuisine microwavable meals. Instead, they've defaulted to the minimalist aesthetic familiar to any millennial age shopper, with serif fonts and cohesive pastel color schemes that subtly inform the consumer that this brand is ethical, economical, and safe for their children. I see. But if you're talking about the 90s packaging, that is millennials. So what does she mean? We got the bright colors and all that shit.
Yeah.
But maybe she means, I see what she means. They're the way they're designing the toys now appeals to adult millennial sentiments. So they're more likely to buy those things for their kids because now it appeals to their sentiments. So if something is earth friendly, if it looks earth friendly, like if it has like earth tones, because more millennials are more like, tree hugger, save the planet type, they're more likely to buy those toys. And because they're more likely to buy those toys, it's going to affect Gen Alpha more. Whereas when Gen Z was coming in, when they were younger, there was a rebranding of the 90s. So they got that. And that's why they were wearing fanny packs and stuff like that. It's like, why y'all wearing fanny? You know what I'm saying? It's like, that was the type of thing they did like in the early 90s, late 80s. Like, fanny packs? Really?
I was wearing that, bro.
That's y'all generation. That Generation Z were wearing fanny packs, But
we're not doing that, bro. That's so weird.
Y'all ain't doing it now, but when y'all were young, y'all were wearing fanny packs. I know.
I mean, when you're like a young kid, you're just gonna do goofy stuff like that.
Because I was clowning the hell out of y'all. Like, fanny packs, really?
We Google. What do you think they wear that now, bro? What do you mean? People, my generation still bully people, bro. You dress goofy, bro, we're gonna bully you, bro.
My dad wears fanny packs. My dad's like in his 70s. That's what where y'all wearing fanny packs for? Now to be fair,
backpack or cargo pants. Like, come on, man.
To be fair, I made fun of my dad one time. He was wearing that fanny pack. He was like, "You know how practical this thing is? Like, wallet,
it is.
My keys." I was like, "Yeah, it's true. I can see how it is practical."
Yeah, exactly.
I have to give you that. Like, I'm sure it's practical, but it looks ridiculous.
Like, at least get that one thing. You know what I'm talking about? It kind of looks like I think you tie around your waist, kind of the pants thing. They have it going for construction workers, right? It's like a brown leather and the little pocket thing right here.
Yeah, I know you're talking about it's like a utility
even
belt.
Stuff like that. Okay, it looks okay. Something like that. I'm like, okay, cool. But it's fanny pack. It just looks goofy. That I cannot wear.
How about my crossbody pack? I normally be bringing that to the studio. It's like black and orange. That bag I got.
Yeah, I would have that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's.
You know what I noticed?
So you understand, okay? Something like that, I can still you can kind of consider it a fanny pack, but at least it looks cool. Like it's like a fanny pack.
I know. That's what you're saying. Yeah, that's what you're saying. I'll be honest. Yeah. Anything that kind of looks like a purse, I'm probably going to stay away from. but I will say this. King 81. Remember that brand Cross Colors that came out when we were growing up?
Cross Colors.
You don't remember Cross Colors?
Look it up.
Let me look, dude. I can show you Cross Colors. Yeah, if you see, you know what I'm going to talk about. Cross Colors. This brand right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Back in the 90s, middle school.
Yeah. I was watching. It's a show called Justified. It came out, I think, in the mid 2000s, but they did a new season of it that came out recently that takes place in Detroit. It's called Justified City Primeval, right? And the main character, his daughter was like walking around Detroit, and she had on a Cross Colors jacket. I was like, "Is that a Cross Colors jacket?" And I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Wow, it's I was like, "Holy crap!" But
the detail
but no, it takes place in present day though. You see what I'm saying? So she's wearing it in like present day. I was like, damn, like, you know. Let me see. Let's see if it'll come up. If I type just right,
It could be a marketing thing as well too to try to bring them back.
Yeah, here it is. Here it is right here. That's his daughter right there, wearing the cross colors varsity jacket worn by Willa Givens in the show. I couldn't believe it. I was like, is that cross colors? I didn't even think it was still around. I was like, is that brand still around? But it is. I went to their website. It's still around.
And that's just...
There it is right there. That's the jacket she was wearing.
And that's just one of the things, well, too.
Dang, $500?
So they marketed and put it in there. People said, hey, look, I remember that. Yeah.
They're out of their damn
That's like that Thunder Tank thing.
Mind. But at least that's a collectible. I'm not paying $500 for no damn jacket. You are out of your goddamn mind. I refuse. I don't. If I was rich, I was like, what are you, crazy? Like, I'm not paying $500 for no jacket. The most you're gonna get out of me for a jacket is $30. Maybe $60 if it's a nice jacket, or what I would consider a nice jacket. But
it's got leather. It's leather, and what
that's
else?
probably what it is. It's probably maybe it's real leather. I don't know. I don't care. Shit.
Yeah, I think it looks just fine.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, man, you took me back with that, man. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember cross colors. I couldn't believe it. I think she wearing a cross colors jacket. I couldn't believe it, dude.
Never had one though. Never had one. I just always remember that.
I'm trying to think. I remember because I just remember seeing it in rap and in certain movies at the time. I don't know if I actually. No, I think I had a shirt. I might have had like a cross colors shirt or something like that. But let's get back to the article.
I just always remember like Boss and things and stuff like
Boss,
that.
I had Boss. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it says let's see, where did I stop at? Serif fonts and cohesive pastel colors, blah, blah, blah. This brand is economical and safe for the jokers. So you can tell Gen Alpha are kids of millennials because their snacks are filled with these labels, tweeted Andrea Hernandez, a food and beverage trend analyst. Paleo, keto, probiotic, low carb, low sugar, plant-based. For parents, the bevy of available brands can be overwhelming. There's a lot of pressure not knowing what your kid needs now and what they need next, said Julie Rogers, the co-founder of the kids' shoe brand and e-commerce platform 10 Little. Parents are always wondering how they can buy how can they buy things kids can grow into instead of something that lasts only a few minutes, which is probably a good idea. Parenthood then is as much a state of being as a shoppable identity. Now that baby and child-related products are less ugly and utilitarian, it's easier than ever for parents to express their individual style and, by extension, cultivate their child's taste. It's similar to the marketing notion of a trickle-down effect, which refers to how upper-class fashion trends influence working-style class. Sometimes it's the opposite, too. Sometimes working-style class work their way up, like hip-hop. Hip-hop is working-class, really ghetto class music. And I look at hip hop fashion, and in fact, fashion has become more casual which is a sign of the bottom moving up, rather than because people wore suits, because rich people wore suits. Now poor people wear suits. Now it's the opposite. Now you go to a place and they want you to wear. You don't gotta wear a suit and all that shit. They want you to. You even gotta tuck your shirt in. You
guys seeing the goofy stuff they wear, like the fashion shows now or whatever. Now they have like big giant red shoes, like some of the fashion. So fashion shows of all. There's always been fashion shows that do crazy stuff. So it's not. But it's getting even more goofier, bro. You don't understand.
You can go back to the '80s. You can go to fashion shows. They're doing all kind of crazy shit. So it's not. That's nothing new. That's nothing new.
Big sunglasses.
Yeah, it's nothing new. Yeah, it's nothing new. But it says. By extension, cultivate their child's taste is similar to marketing notion of a trickle-down effect, which refers to how upper-class fashion trends to influence working-class styles. This is only the first chapter of Gen Alpha's consumer's future. They certainly aren't the first cohort of kids to be targeted by mass media. Marketing deregulation in the 1980s led to an onslaught of loosely disguised children's advertisements. They will be, however, the first to inhabit a world of bountiful digital-first brands that have had eyes on them at an extremely young age. Sarah Peterson has noticed a dramatic shift in her buying impulses between her first child, who was born in 2012, and her youngest in 2019. So I think we were kind of talking about that. There's a bit of a difference, you know what I'm saying? It felt like everyone was buying the same stuff back in 2012, the same playmats and plastic high chairs that were ugly, chunky, and only sold in primary colors, said Peterson, who was working on a book about digital culture and motherhood. Now, in part thanks to Instagram, there's an aesthetic shift toward natural wood tones, creams, and natural pastel shades, which I kind of like too. There's something about the '70s brown color that I've always liked that I think we should go back to. Brown and beige and stuff like that. All the bright colors are cool sometimes. It gets kind of distracting and annoying. Mothers have always been a key marketing demographic, she added, but in the past it was a category that felt identity killing, even progressive. Working women felt that they had to conform toward general mold of motherhood. Everyone brought the same ugly shit. In some ways, you felt better and worse about it, Peterson said. Our consumer identity was flattened into one broad, unexciting group, and there were few brands that prioritized your individual needs that specifically catered to you. And I guess that's where the internet kind of opens that kind of stuff up to. And I agree. I'm the same way. Like, man, this, like, I find brands and online stores that appeals to my personal aesthetic. I rarely go into Walmart or Target anymore. And if I do, it's just for convenience. Oh, I'm driving by it. I need some toilet paper or some some detergent or something like that. But or like the cable for my cell phone charger broke. So all right, instead of me ordering one, I'm right here by Walmart. Let me see if they got. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. Yeah. It says the era of mommy and blogs in the 2000s precipitated the mom as an influencer industrial complex, but was predicated around a similar idea that one's domestic struggles can be solved and made better by an endless array of products. The prevailing stereotype of the millennial parent is a health-conscious caretaker, wary of processed foods and the potential of unnatural chemicals and toxins present in their child's food or toys, which I think is a good thing. I think we need to be more. I think parents should be aware of that type of thing. They want the best of everything for their kids. It's an idea rooted in materialist and classist assumptions of what good parenting looks like. I mean, why not? Why would you not want the best food for your kids? You don't want them to eat shit. Their brains and everything is going to be better for it if you have them eating healthy food. I think that's a good thing. I don't think that's a classist thing. I mean, everyone wants that, no matter what class you're in, unless you're just so poor and you say, oh, I gotta go out there and work. You better eat this gruel because that's all we can afford. Eat this gruel. Eat it. You know what I'm saying? That type of. I actually heard gruel is actually pretty good for you, but parenting as an industry, if you can even call it that, is very old and hasn't changed in nearly a century. Said Lisa Barnett, co-founder of Little Spoon, a direct-to-consumer baby and children's meal brand. Every service, every product hasn't really changed. We recognize that there's a new generation entering the life stage of being a parent. It made little sense then that baby food brands and kiddie snacks were designed with the child in mind rather than the parent. It's ironic because, at least for us, the baby doesn't internalize what the packaging looks like, Barnett added. We're trying to attract the parents thinking about what they want to look for. That's interesting. Now, for babies, I can understand that. But when you start getting into like the they 6 and 7 or whatever, and they're like, I want to see that, mommy, give me that. Yeah, I don't know, but we'll see what they say. It says, legacy food brands like Gerber and Beechnut are playing catch up to new online companies like Little Spoon. They've altered their packaging and offered organic options, but that won't be enough to stem the expansion of DTC kid-focused companies. The parenting industry of the mom economy has moved largely online during the pandemic. Consumers are not only accustomed to buying clothes, household items, and toys online, parents are seeking out technology and products that are convenient and transparent. So that's kind of goes with what you were saying, Carbon. Is like, hey, how much mileage can I get out of this tablet? You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. What is this? What is this? What is this? Why is this blocking what I'm trying to read? Do you see what I'm saying? Now maybe it's because I got the
other window.
Well, I got it tiled, but still, I mean, come on, man. Can I get rid of this? How do I get rid of this? It's not an ad. It's like an Instagram thing.
Yeah.
Inspect. If I can inspect it, can I make it go away? Yeah, let's see if I can make it go away. So if I click on, it kind of went away, but I was trying to click on it and delete the code so I could keep reading what I was reading. So where was I? See, I can't remember where I was now.
Oh, yeah, further down.
Yeah, we were further down. For parents, baby brand, parenthood, then as much as being. I read that. Mothers have always been a key marketing. Read that. Read that. Read that. Yeah, so here I was. Yeah. Okay, so focus company. The parenting industry or the mom economy has moved largely online during the pandemic. Consumers are not only accustomed to buying clothes, household items, and toys online. Parents are seeking out technology and products that are convenient and transparent. So let's move down here. So much of the power of shopping from mommy Instagram lies in the really impossible state of motherhood in the US, especially during the pandemic, Peterson added. It makes you feel better about the state of everything, even while American society has failed to provide policies that can make mothers' lives better, like free preschool or universal paid leave. I actually agree with that. I think preschool should be free. And I think we should have universal pay leave. I think that should be something that's guaranteed by the government, especially if they wanted to combat the whole demography crisis that we're having, like to the point where we're just not having as much children. Well, you're making having children really expensive. So yeah, less people are going to have it. It says, granted, most brands aren't trying to pose a solution or a substitution for America's inadequate childcare policies. Their aim is to support a modern vision of parenthood, one where both parents are likely working and juggling childcare tasks. Now, some of that you got to blame on the feminists. You wanted both, so you got both. And to be fair, women have always worked in this country. A certain class of women have always worked. They've always juggled it. So I guess I can't truly say that. It just so happens that in the pursuit, brands and parents are subtly shaping the tastes and imagined lifestyles of their little ones. The long-term effects of coming of age in terrazzo-filled home with wooden toys, of course, remain to be seen. So why are advertisers so keen on millennial parents and their Gen Alpha toddlers in the first place? Starting from the turn of the century, we began to realize that millennials would wield the greatest consumer power in the world, compared to all other age groups, said Dirch. While market research and further broke down the millennial demographic into subcategories, the broad delineation stuck and became widely used. Generational labels became a vague nod to a type of lifestyle or ideology held by a group of similarly aged people, often as expressed on social media. During the advent of the BuzzFeed internet in the 2010s, millennialdom morphed into an online identity. Eventually, it all compounded into a sort of generational lore that was privy to stereotypes. Baby boomers are wealthy and empathetic toward the financial plight of young people. Do y'all agree with that? Like, I've been getting some conversations with my dad about similar subjects, and also to some other boomers online. Shout out, calling you out, BGS. I wouldn't say they're unempathetic. I think they care. I even think they can relate. I just think their mindset on the challenges that are laid before millennials and really now Gen Z. I think it's old. I think it's old fashioned. Yeah, it's old fashioned. A good example I can say that is, like our parents always taught us, go to school, work hard, have discipline, right? If you were black, particularly a black person who came from a 2-parent home, like all three of us have, that was the motto: go to school, work hard, have discipline, you'll find something. But I think the discipline and working hard part, I think, still holds up, because that's with anything. But this idea that school is the only way has aged. I also think that the boomers lived in a time where things like factory jobs were still largely available, and you could take care of a family by working in a factory. Well, by the time the early 90s hit, and after NAFTA and a whole bunch of other trade agreements, they outsourced most of those jobs to China and Mexico. So millennials just couldn't go, hey, I'm going to go work in this factory. I didn't do well in school, or I couldn't afford to go to school, so I'm just going to go work in this factory and I should be good. We didn't have that, right? And we have way more competition. And even though numerically we might get paid more, when you account for things like inflation, we actually don't get paid more. So the dollar went further back when boomers were in their prime than compared to, you just look now. Look at the price of food. So you could be making 60 grand a year, right? But that might be tantamount to making 20 grand, back in the 20 or 30 grand back in the the 70s or the 80s or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they don't care. I just don't think that they realize how much how much the landscape has changed, and that we have different challenges, and some of the mindsets that they have just don't work anymore. Like when it comes to black people, I'm sorry, like protesting and all that shit don't work. It don't work no more. They found ways to, to circumvent and to navigate around that. You can protest as much as you want. If they're gonna do what they're gonna do, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Because one of the reasons why the protests work is because we were in a Cold War, so we were making America look bad during the Cold War when our biggest rivals were Russia. But now it's like, I mean, you got all these black tokens in certain positions, so you can just say, hey, we're not racist. We got the first black president, or first female black president, even though none of all the policies don't really benefit black people. All the policies that were supposed to benefit us don't really benefit us. But I'm digressing. The point is that I don't think boomers are unempathetic or not very empathetic. I think that they don't see. I don't think they can see how the landscape has changed, and that millennials and Gen Z can't move like how they move, especially black millennials and Gen Zs. We got to do it differently. And even when it comes down to politics, we just got to do all that stuff differently. We got to do it all differently. Even what we're fighting for, it has to be different. But that's a different topic for another day. Let's move on. It says baby boomers are wealthy and unempathetic toward the financial plight of young people. Gen Z is obsessed with broadcasting their main character lives on TikTok. Millennials were that part's true. Yeah, it says,
that is true. That's true.
Millennials were associated with, among many signifiers, avocado toast, student loans, Harry Potter, liberalism, and jaded youthfulness. It's funny how they don't even mention Gen X. Thus, age became an inexact metric for commonality, while glossing over nuances of race, class, geography, and religion that also define an individual's taste. Regardless, the raging generational wars are a fruitful development for advertisers who champion demographic labels in an effort to appeal to specific swaths of the consumers. The ability to concretely define and thereby appeal to a certain group is coveted knowledge, at least in the marketing world. I can see that, especially nowadays, because you just got so much variety on the internet now, In an interview with Mark McCrindle, the Australian consultant who is credited with the term Generation Alpha, the New York Times described generations as less of a collection of individuals than a commodity to be processed into a manufactured unit, marketed and sold to clients. Defining the next generation, which includes the unborn, in the era of not so subtle targeted ads, in which age range is a key factor, is like stalking claim in a gold rush. Yeah, I can see that. Yet the characteristics of Gen Alpha remain largely unknown. They're too young, and their pre-adolescent life too varied to conduct concrete research. Yeah, I can see that, because I mean, because the internet is just so wide. It's not like how we were growing up, and definitely not like how Gen X and the boomers were growing up, where, okay, you sat down and you had these specific channels that you could watch. Like, you didn't have this right unless you just had a really good cable box or something. Even then, I mean, it was only but so much, so they could get metrics on how many people watching this, how many people watching that. YouTube and the internet, man, it's just, I can see why they say data is going to be the new oil, because it's like, when you can get that data to see, okay, where most alphas, directing their attention, then you can,
definitely market to that.
Yeah, exactly. But it says that, let's see, where was I? McCrindle argued that data on Gen Alpha's parents and millennials can forecast how these children will be raised. That premise, however, was challenged in a 2017 paper, Generation Alpha Marketing or Science, by two Hungarian researchers, who concluded that there was not yet any evidence of a post-Gen Z group. By definition, an age group will become a generation if they have common experiences, concepts, and language or vocabulary that differs from the previous generations, one researcher told Wired. We still have no representative data on the characteristics of alphas, only speculations about what their common cohesive force might be. That's true, because maybe they're still too young, and because it's harder to get metrics now, I can see that. Even so, population researchers have admitted that age delineations are somewhat arbitrary. They prefer to group people into cohorts rather than fixed generations. based on major life events like marriage and family formation. While none of us can accurately predict the defining characteristics of Gen Alpha, marketers and brands are embarking on a self-fulfilling prophecy of sorts. Yeah, I can see that. According to Dirch, the marketing professor, children are capable of developing brand associations as young as 3 years old. Whatever the parents expose the child to, the more often they will come to identify with that brand, even from a very young age, she told me. Those connections happen very naturally and almost non-consciously. So that was the end of the article. Very interesting. That was very interesting. By the way, Meg Thee Stallion looks like shit. And she's a beautiful woman, man. She's starting to hit that wall. But I digress. I digress. We're going to end it here pretty soon because we've been talking about this for a little while. But we will go to Super 7 and kind of look at the adult toys. Not that type of adult, but collectibles. Yeah. And we'll just kind of, because look, a lot of this stuff that I see on here appeals to me. I'm cheap though, and I just can't bring myself to buy these types of things. I think they're cool. Like when we saw the Claymore figure, but I just can't. It has to be something really special. Like this has been a Guyver. The Guyver.
Yeah, I got my eyes on that too, man.
But I've been looking at that thing for like a decade, and I just can't bring myself to buy it. Like, do I really want to spend $100 on this figurine? Some people, this is what they do. They collect, like collecting baseball cards or comic books. So I'm not knocking it. I personally just can't bring myself to do it. One time I think I had a cami, and it sat there and collected dust, and I'm like, you know what, never again.
Well, it's just one of those, like people have like the collectibles, on their wall, the shelves and stuff like. It's just display type thing. It's nostalgic. For me, it's nostalgic, and sometimes it's like, hey, I've always wanted such and such, toy, and like, hey, maybe I never got it when I was little, but now, hey, look, it's here now. I can afford it, and even now it's more, detailed, more like even with this, it's like, man, but don't even wrong, like say like the old Ninja Turtles, the ones that the Playmates did, it's like, those have a special thing as well too, and they actually brought those back. In order to start selling wise, and for me, I'm thinking about actually, getting a wise and stuff like that. No, but now once they see people are trying to go for it, they're gonna up their price on it. But and even for the original toys of them, or even just ones back then, some people, they go out there, they sell them online for crazy prices, and and people, it's just that nostalgic type thing, or the collectible, they love it, they buy it, man. It's people our age wise and stuff like that, it's one of those things.
I mean, I agree. I think obviously there's a market for it. I don't think that we definitively proved Carbon that Gen Alpha or Gen Z don't play with toys as much. I think they do. It's just they are also interested in digital media. That's their TV. So just like how we watch TV and play with toys, they watch the internet and play with toys. I don't think they're playing with toys less. I think if that was their case, we'd see articles about it. The toy aisle and blah blah blah, or toy sales are down by a certain percentage. I haven't seen anything like that.
Nah, because I think it's marketed more towards, well, I mean, kids as well too. But then these type of collectible type.
That's the thing. That's the thing. And I think that's the difference we have to make. There are toys that are marketed towards kids still, and kids still buy them, or parents still buy them for their kids. These aren't for kids. These are for adults. Like these Guyvers are badass. But look at this right here. $1,000.
Not only that, get to like the camis and all those type where they start getting the kids.
$2,000.
Whoa, now see, look, that's a little too much. See, I think more with this right here, this is more like, the art wise, the detail, because hey, they gotta paint that. I mean, of course you gotta paint all of them, but this is more. And it
probably wasn't that many made, so it's the rarity thing. Yeah. But I just can't see myself paying that type of money. If they had one of these Guyver things for like $30, I go ahead and buy it. But even $126,
man. Like, around like 200 and things like that. Because even Gosh, they got that. Was it the Ninja Turtle mech that they got coming out? No, man.
Yeah,
I think the first one is around like 200 or 162. This I think they're still taking pre-orders, man. Like I even pre-ordered one, man. I still haven't got mine yet.
yeah.
But still hasn't come in yet.
How
But
long ago did you pre-order it?
oh man, and some of these things be on pre-order for maybe 2 years. You
Oh
don't even get
wow.
nothing. And sometimes, and what it is too, especially with Silverhawks, I know they had some issues and stuff with some with the paint
Yeah, it's like when has this thing?
things.
It's been a while,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's been a while, but now they just started coming out. I got two of them. I got
Oh, you
Quicksilver
did?
and Steelheart.
Can you
Yeah,
do
man.
you have it? Is it convenient? Can you show it to us?
Hold on.
Yeah,
Let me see if I
yeah.
can
Let's
find
see
it.
this
Hold on.
thing. Or Carbon, would you be interested in buying figurines like this? What care?
No,
Okay, let's say because I'm not. I'm interested, but I'm too cheap to do it. If you were to do it though, which figurine would you want to buy to put on your mantle?
no, I wouldn't buy none of these figurines.
No, I'm saying
All right.
a character that you like, that you think that you would be interested in, that you think is cool enough to say, hey, look, I'm going to put this in a case and it's going to be on my drawing table or my computer desk for
Yeah, I know we have it on my computer desk here,
yeah.
man.
Like, what is there
Yes,
any
I do.
characters that you in all the media and lore that you consume that you think that would be fitting or deserving to be
Held on that mantle.
put on the mantle?
I don't know. I don't really buy statues like that, so I don't know, dude.
I'm asking you if you did, like if you were to if you were to say, hey, like, you got $1 million, but the only way you're gonna get this $1 million, you got to spend $100 and buy a statue. Which one would you buy? And you get the other million what dollars, whatever, or the difference from that $100. There's no character that you like that you find interesting. Like, for me personally, I definitely have some Silverhawks.
Oh yeah, done.
I would definitely, and this is something one of my goals is to 3D print some the Last Dragon figurines, particularly shonuff. So look, if they had a shonuff figure or a Bruce Leroy figure, and it was well done and it was affordable, like in the $100-$200 range, I would get that. I would get that. That is deserving to be, and it looked good though. It can't be janky looking. It looked good, and there are some show enough figures, but they're one of a kinds, so they're not really for sale. Or if they were for sale, someone already bought it. Show enough figure. Yeah, here we go. But also too, like some of them don't really look that good. Like that right there doesn't look all that good to me. This one looked good, and I was looking for this one, boy, and I could not find it. I could not find this thing. Oh, it's a video. Come on, man. Stupid ads. Come on. Jeez, that's annoying. Dude, I tried looking for this thing, dude. I could not find it, boy. Now I'd say if I can find that, I buy it.
There you go. That'll be
I buy
right
it.
there on your desk.
And it wasn't like $3,000. I get it. Again, I want to get into more into 3D printing. I've been practicing my blender so I can start modeling more. I want to make my own shonuff and Bruce Leroy. Not Bruce Lee, Bruce Leroy figures. I got this idea too, the way to make the hands glow for shonuff. Yeah, some of them, man, I don't think they look that good. Like that looks all right, I guess.
Yeah, and that's just the challenge with it as well too, man. Trying to see if you get those ones that actually.
Yeah. So this one's cool
like
because it's
it,
more. I don't think this looks more of like a 3D model, but
okay.
that kind of stylized look actually looks kind of cool too.
Yeah.
Like this right here, it just doesn't look enough like shonuff to me.
Nah.
Yeah, it just don't look that good. That one don't look that good.
Nah.
But yeah, if I can find that, boy, do they have any Leroy Green figures?
Is that him right there?
Yeah, that's it. But that
Yeah.
looks terrible. Yeah, they definitely don't got no good Leroy Green ones, man. Like, what the hell is that? That's not Leroy Green. You know what that looks like? That looks like Finn with muscles.
Finn.
Yeah, like, it look like Finn with muscles. That's what that looks like. Like you see what I'm saying? Like this does not look like Leroy. It don't look like him.
And granted, And granted, sometimes people they kind of do like swaps. They may like say like that might be a Bruce Lee model thing, and they'll just take Bruce
And
Lee's head
kind of,
off and
yeah, and
sculpt
try to scope,
or
yeah.
take like a Ken doll, kind of like a Ken doll or like a Barbie type thing
Yeah,
on that for a
yeah.
little bit.
So yeah,
You know.
so for me, the more I learned about modeling and printing,
Hmm.
I think I know I could, what the hell? I know I could you see that, right? Like, what is that? I know, and then it has Leroy Green Jr. Like, what the hell? I don't. Anyway, but anyway, uh,
Oh no, why?
I know, but I know. I think I could do a convincing shonuff, but the challenge would be to do a convincing Leroy Green and make it look
Hmm.
good because so far apparently no one's done it yet. So it's gonna be up to me. It's gonna be up to me. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I guess you gotta get
but yeah,
fit.
we're gonna end it here. Show us some
Okay. Well,
yeah.
let me see. First up and all, I got my Thundercats. I don't know how
It's getting.
much y'all can see up in. Oh, hold on.
Oh, okay,
How about this
all
little?
right. Yeah, it's getting.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess the thing is kind of trying to knock it out,
Oh
but
yeah,
yeah, but you can kind of see it. Yeah. All right.
yeah, little
Okay.
Thundercats
The
in there,
Thundercats.
man.
All right.
Let's see what else. I'm trying to pull a little something from it. Let me see. This right here. Oh, okay. This is my Super Seven.
Yeah, we can't see it.
Uh,
Yeah, we can't see
hold
it.
up,
It's getting knocked
hold
out.
on,
Yeah, we can't
hold
see
up.
anything. Yeah, we can't see nothing,
Let me
man.
Yeah,
try
put
this
like a
real
light
quick.
or something on because your filter is gonna filter it
Yeah,
out.
let me. Where's my little filter thing on here? Gosh, is it this one? I don't want to kick myself on it. Hold on, let me try like this. This is better. Sort of what?
We, yeah, right there,
Uh,
right there. Yeah, who's that?
yeah,
Is that April O'Neil?
April O'Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then
that's how you know you're a collector. You looked at the end of plastic, bro.
Oh yeah, you gotta
yeah,
leave it,
hey,
dude. That one
you
part,
got
that one part in Across the Spider Verse where
oh yeah.
Gwen
Let
first
me
comes
say,
back. She's like, "Why is it still in
oh,
the package?"
no.
And you can see Miles' face was like, "What?"
Yeah, and he always, I did the same thing. I'm like, no.
I know. I was like, "What is
Now,
she
granted,
doing?"
now, granted, I do take them out. I take them out, but pretty much just store them wise and yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
like this is my first Silverhawk
Oh
one. It's
shit,
still,
Loses value if you
Silverhawks.
take it out the package. You're gonna lose it,
yeah,
right?
Oh shit, boy, it's Silverhawks, boy.
yeah,
I
but
wish they would have
pretty
done more
much.
of a metallic paint though for the.
Well, and that's the thing too. They are coming out with later versions of the metallic type
Hmm.
ones of them, and some people are like, "Oh, it's y'all should have came out with these first." But
Yeah.
the guy, the guy that makes some of the stuff, I can't call his name right now. He was saying one of the issues that they have with that is it's like a vac metal, and
Hmm.
the thing of it is, whenever you're moving the joints too much, it eventually rubs it off.
Rubs it off.
So
Yeah.
it's like, now like they kind of perfected the
The process.
process of doing
Yeah.
it, but they do recommend that you don't move certain parts a lot
Hmm.
because a lot of issues they had was at the joints. That's going to rub together.
Yeah, because
So
that
they
was the problem
it's
with the older toys too, is that eventually
yeah,
they would rub off. You see the little white stuff under it.
yeah,
And
white stuff
yeah,
is that yeah,
yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
yeah,
just one of those things. But I mean, like I said, if I ever get those ones, I mean, yeah, it's pretty much just for show
yeah,
wise. I'm not gonna be flying them and stuff like that and the things like
yeah,
that. Just have
yeah,
them posted up though. But yeah,
yeah. All right, well, guys, I was gonna do what do you call it, the Exorcist trailer, but I think I'm gonna wait for that. I'm gonna wait on that one, and we'll do that for the next one. That'll be my idea for the next one. And I think we're gonna end
all
it
right.
here because it's already 10 o'clock. But if you guys want to show anything you've been working on or anything like that, now's the time to do it before we end it.
I got nothing right now,
I can
but
show
I'm
you
working on it.
guys a little bit of what I've been doing. I've been starting to do work on the short for this poem that I wrote called "The Peeper." It's a horror. It's gonna be like a little horror short. So I started doing like the character design for the little boy that's inside the story. I gotta figure out how to. I gotta share my screen. Stop sharing so you guys can see it. So not stop streaming. Is it stop streaming? Yeah, stop streaming. And then
Okay. Yep. It just
share your screen again. Let me put it over here. Let's see here. Yeah, that's good. Uh, Alrighty, let me get rid of the menus here. I get rid of the rulers too, so you guys can really see here what I'm doing. So it's view, ruler bar. Okay. And then let me share my screen again and click on Clip Studio Paint. Go live. All right, can you guys see that?
It's coming. It's still thinking. Okay, yeah, it's coming through. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
What I'm gonna do? Hold on. Let me do something real quick so you can see it a little better. I'm gonna put this folder on multiply so you can see it'll look a little darker. Yeah, there we go. I haven't drawn the clothes yet, obviously, but he's gonna be wearing like almost like a Catholic school uniform. Because and he's holding his hand like this because he's gonna be holding the straps for his book bag. And if you look closely, right? And where's my zoom tool? Thought it was the Z. What is it? Is it Z?
For zoom?
I thought it was Z for zoom, but I guess not in this program. But he has like these bags under his eyes because he's not getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
not getting enough rest.
Yeah, basically what happens is every night this demon called the Peeper comes and sits on his bed board, the front of the bed board, and it's basically like this giant owl with like 3 eyes and like 6 wings. And he's the only one that can see it, and the eyes emit like this really bright light that keeps him up, right? And I'm not gonna tell you the full story, but that's why he can't get any sleep. And the poem is called the Peeper, and I'm gonna get Gabby to narrate it because she did a little bit. We were at Waffle House one day, and she narrated a little bit, and she sounded. Were you there, Caleb? She sounded pretty good. So I was like, I wanted to get Jeremiah, but his voice has already changed, so I don't think it would work as well. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. I actually started this yesterday. But tonight I'm going to try to sketch in the clothing. I'm not going to do like a major. I'm not going to do a full turnaround. I'm just going to do the front side view, and I'm going to do like a little, not an action pose, but just a more of a dynamic pose over here.
Yeah.
And then the other characters in it are his parents. So he's Little J. There's Mama May, and there's Papa Paul, and then you have the Peeper, which is the owl. So those are going to be the main characters. And this is going to be like my own personal first little short that I'm going to do, and I'm going to try and make it it's all going to be black and white because it's going to be horror anyway. So I'm not going to have a whole bunch of colors, so it shouldn't take that long. Matter of fact, I started doing it's going to have like a halftone pattern feel or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have like a little Starry Night thing back here where you see the character designs. But that's kind of the look I'm going for. Nothing super crazy with a whole bunch of colors and stuff because I don't want to spend too much time on it. I want to get it done. You know what I'm saying? I want to get it done.
Simple. You got to get it out. And always can build off of it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think maybe his age probably is gonna be like maybe 8 or 9 years old. Because I was doing my head, my head measurements. I think 4 heads is when you start, 6, maybe a 5, 7, maybe 3 is like a toddler. So I'm thinking this range right here is probably like 8 or 9. When you get up into this range, I think around 6 heads is a teenager, and then 8 heads is an adult. So their parents, the mom's probably gonna be about this tall. I'm gonna make the dad the full 8 heads, I think. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be pretty cool. I'll say this. I'll say this to kind of review the story. Like, and near the end of the story, right? His father, like, he notices the little boy is like hiding his hand, like his right nor his left hand, and so the father's like, what are you hiding? Why are you hiding your hand? Show me your hand. And then he shows him his hand, and his pinky has been cleaved, has been cut off. And then the mother and the father are like, what in the hell is going on? You know what I'm saying? So the little boy tells him, like, the Peeper said that, to keep him away from the darkness, he needed a sacrifice, and his pinky would suffice. So long as he gave him his pinky, that he'd be good. You know what I'm saying? And I was going to leave it there because it gets like the ending. I think is pretty cool. But it's supposed to be horror. It's a horror story, and that's about as brutal as it gets. It's not like really gory or anything. and you don't you don't see the little boy's pinky get cleaved, but you see the aftermath of what happens or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, it's called the peeper. Yeah, the peeper demon. But it's like a little short poem that I wrote. But that's what I've been working on. I've also been working on the Riva drawing. I'm pretty much almost done with that. So I'm going to take it into. I'm either going to use Spline or Live 2D, but I'm going to do like a pseudo 2D, 3D type of thing to kind of bring her to life. Then I'm going to read my narration for that, and that'll be a video that I can put out as almost acts like a little short. So I've been working a lot on that. I think, yeah, here it is. I think I still got it up. Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I let me bring the opacity up on this layer. Which layer is it? I think is it this one? Which layer is that? I thought it was this one. Why is it?
I was still thinking.
No, it says 100%, but why is it is the folder? You see what I'm saying? If this layer is 100%, it shouldn't be that light. So I don't know why it's doing that. I hope I didn't do anything like oh, I think I know what I did. I think I merged that layer with another layer while it was still. Let me see if I can undo it. Can I still undo it? Oh shit!
You didn't say.
Oh, there it is. Whoo!
Woo!
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, a lot of detail.
Yeah, I mean, I could just duplicate the layer over and over again until it got back up to the proper.
Oh, yeah.
But then I had to go and clean up some stuff, so yeah, I'm glad I was able to undo it.
Yeah. Easy fix.
Yeah. This right here is because what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it kind of like panning down, like I drew more of her body, so it'll kind of like pan down, and then you're going to see her cape kind of wafting in the background. And as she kind of pans down, you see her hands kind of come up, her arms and her hands kind of come up, and then she'll do like the lightning thing from her eyes or whatever.
I can see her probably doing something like this.
Yeah,
I can't see my hands, but yeah, just like just
exactly, down. Yeah. So it'll be that type of thing. But it'll be real subtle, and I'll kind of narrate as I'm showing the design. And there's one more design I want to do because I have another design idea for her that I'm going to do. But once that's done, I'll finish that video. But that's what I've been working on. I've also been doing a little writing, but we'll talk about that later. So, but with that, guys, man, if you guys don't have anything to show, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. I'll do my outro.
Yeah, I'm good. So, Kelly, you got any 3D?
No,
on the model? Any new things?
Nope.
All right.
Ghost in the Shell is pretty much done. I think we're gonna try and publish it tomorrow, right, Caleb? Yeah, we're gonna publish it tomorrow. So the Ghost in the Shell album should come out tomorrow for the audience. That'll be our latest album release. So yeah.
In a minute.
Yeah.
I know I gotta do my audio, man, for my voiceover stuff for that one track, and I'm gonna try to ain't gonna try. I'm gonna knock it out this weekend right here.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Because as soon as you give me that, I can go ahead and just put it back. I can put it in the video and then go ahead and start rendering. But all right, guys, I'll do my outro. This is Carbon X. This is G Flux, the great G Flux, the grand G Flux, the magnificent, and King 81, aka Arsenal Beats, signing off. We'll see you guys next Friday.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Share. And what's his name? Let's call this dude out one more time. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. What's his name?
Red Devil.
Yeah, Red Devil. Red Devil. Axel, thanks for pointing out that we looked at the wrong trailer. But our opinions pretty much, well, my opinion at least, pretty much stays the same. The actual official whatever doesn't really look that much better. And some of the stuff that we were critiquing was official. It was cut together in a fan trailer. So. We hear you, but Zack Snyder still kind of sucks. But
but I'm still gonna see One Piece. I'm still gonna check out the live action.
I'm good on that.
I'll leave that to you.
Yeah. Here's what we're gonna do. Orlando. We're gonna let you watch it, and you report back to us. If it's worth watching, then we'll all watch it and review it. But I think I'm good on that one too.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Cool.
All right, guys. I'm gonna get out of here.
Studio.